Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of What's in Your Cup Conversations. I am your host, your favorite life balance and confidence coach, Consuela, Nicole. We are here on Love Day. Happy Valentine's Day to each and every one of you, no matter if you are single, married, involved in whatever you involved in. Before you can love on someone else, you must love on yourself first. And baby, look, I'm telling you today, I am here to love on me. And we are definitely going to jump right on in here in just a moment because my guest today is no joke. And I'm going to need y'all. And I said, y'all know we keep it real. We are not always politically correct. We are going to say what needs to be heard when it needs to be heard. While we are pulling back the layers and finding out what's in the cup of my guest today, right? You are also going to hear her pull back the layers of what's in your girl's relationship cup. Y'all know that's one thing I haven't talked about publicly yet, but we're gonna talk about that. But before I do anything else, I want to talk about my guest, right? My guest right now is a very seasoned relationship and conflict resolution coach. And I know most of you are saying, well, Consuela, you're a coach. Why are you bringing on another coach? Because she is a different type of coach. She is talking about love. She is talking about relationships. She is talking about everything love when it comes to other people. She's been doing this for decades. That's all I'm going to tell y'all right now because I got some stuff to talk with her about. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, put your hands together for the one and only Miss Karen Williams. How you doing, beautiful?
Hi, my love. It is so good to be here with you.
I am
Oh my
excited
gosh,
about our
it's always a
conversation today.
pleasure.
Yes.
Yes.
We are going to
Yes.
have so much fun. We are here today with Mrs. Sorry, we're going to get it right because she is definitely happily married. Mrs. Karen Williams. She is the coach for life, the relationship strategist. We're going to talk about everything love, everything relationship, no matter if you're single, married, situationships, all of that good stuff, right? But before, right, exactly. But before I do anything else, I want to
All of it.
publicly first, right. I want to first publicly tell you thank you very much for your service. I see you are a Air Force veteran, right? So thank you very, very much for your service.
Yes.
To have the guts and the tenacity and the courage to go out and put that uniform on for everyone, even those that you do not know. I appreciate you more than I can ever say, right? So we're gonna talk about a few different things. Hey, Mary Grace, I see you. David, hello. Alicia, oh baby, you in for a ride today. I hope y'all are on. So I know right now, Karen, what's in your cup is that you are married. You are a wife. You are a coach. You are a grandmother. I don't believe you, but okay.
I am.
Um, but you have your business and a 9 to 5. So you balancing everything and you're happy about it. You're doing it with a smile. You're doing it productively. But I need you to explain one thing to me, y'all, because she Miss Karen put something out there on social media land, and I need her to explain this. Well, I know it now after I had to pull back the layers. One of the reasons she is such an expert is because she has been married longer than she has been single. Can y'all put that in the chat? Can y'all put that in the chat right quick? She has been married longer than she has been single. Karen, you have to explain. Please do. Explain this to me.
That's funny. We were talking about that off screen. But yeah, I've been married for 31 years, and yeah, we got married when I was 24, 25. I think I was 25, right before my 25th birthday. That's what happened, because we got married on December 16th, and I turned 25 December 30th. So yeah, it's been a ride.
Yes, it's definitely have been a ride. And I want you to explain this because, like I said, right now in your cup, you are a wife, you are a mother, you are a grandmother, you are a very successful business owner, an international business owner. You are fixing relationships and getting people from single to married and staying married, right? Not just getting married, but staying married past the ceremony, but to the actual marriage itself. You posted something online, I want to say a couple, yesterday or day before yesterday, about 4 steps. That one big question people ask you: what's the secret to staying married so long? What was those top 4 things you mentioned that people need to stay married?
Yeah, I think we're kind of breaking up a little bit, but I think what you're asking me is in reference to my Mary Grace said the math isn't mathin'.
It's not. So Matt
But
Mary Grace,
yeah,
you're
so the
right. It's
question I
not
think
that.
you're asking is in reference to a post I did I think it was yesterday or the day before. Yeah, so it's crazy because you know, when people hear that you've been married, say, I said 20, 25, 30 years, the first thing they ask is, okay, what's the secret? Because there has to be some magic potion, or there have to be some type of, I don't know, some quality or something that they're looking
Hmm.
for. And unfortunately, a lot of people, they're not really looking to hear, they're not really looking to understand or hear that marriage isn't linear, or relationship isn't linear. There's going to be ups and down terrain. You're going to fall off some cliffs, you're going to get bruised, you're going to get back up, you're going to try again. They're for what they're really looking to hear is, there has to be something easier than what you are talking about. And unfortunately, it's not. You're talking about two people coming together, trying to form something that never existed before. It's gonna look like iron sharpening iron. And we think that that's such a, that's a pretty beautiful scripture from Proverbs, but it's what just imagine what iron sharpening iron looks like. There's sparks flying, but at the end of the day, there's something new that is being formed. Now, I'm hoping that we're not going to be sharpening each other every single day, because that's what conflict looks like. But eventually once that new thing is shaped, or that new thing is formed, again, the goal is forming something that never existed before.
Okay. So we know what your cup is full of now, right? But I'm gonna put it out there. This isn't your first marriage. You was married before, so you've literally started over. Starting over is scary, no
Of
matter
course.
what age you do it at, right? No matter if it's mentally, spiritually, emotionally, in your love relationship, financially. Starting over is scary, right? So, what did your start over look like? What did you have to do to
Yes.
start over? Because I don't think you dumped out your cup. I think you threw your entire cup away and started over.
And yeah, we did have to throw the cup away. But before, of course, before I can dive into how I started over, I'm sure your listeners want to know, okay, how did we get there in the first place? And
Hmm.
here's the thing. When I had my son, at that time, society, you know how it is. Society is like, okay, you should, it's only the right thing to do to marry the father of your child or marry the mother of your child, so that you can, you can have this. I don't know if you're gonna remember who Olin Mills was. Olin Mills, them old photographs from J.C. Penney. That's what the perfect
Oh my
picture
God,
frame
yes,
looks like, right? So that's
yes.
that's all we want to talk about. We want everything to be picture perfect. And even though this
Mm-hmm.
person was not who I truly believe I should be marrying. Now, mind you, just to go back a second, we didn't have no problem sleeping together, but I knew that he wasn't somebody I wanted to marry. I know how, see how crazy that sounds. But
Yeah.
we got married anyway. And even as I remember my stepdad was walking me down the aisle in the dress and the flowers. My mom spent an extravagant amount of money on my wedding. And, and I'm walking down the aisle and I remember thinking, I should not even be marrying this person. But at that point, what do I do? So fast forward a little bit to, I think, probably about a year and a half into the. First of all, we barely made it into the first anniversary. We kind of, you know how when you when you're trying to get to the finish line really really fast and you just kind of slide
Mm-hmm.
into, or you're trying to get to the first base, you slide right into the. I mean, you're dirty, you're scratched up, you're burnt, you got your knees are skinned, all of that. And so we listen, girl, we made it into the first anniversary just bruised and battered, right? And I was
Wow.
like, all right, so if we made it into the first one, we definitely can probably work it out and get back into, trying to make the second anniversary. And it was around the same time. I got married in 1989. And of course, probably my more seasoned and mature audiences, you remember in 91 or in 1990 is when the conflict kicked off in Kuwait. And so at that point, being in the military, I was tapped to go TDY for that. I had to, so here I am packing up to go off to war. And I'm thinking, hey, a separation is probably what we needed, because in the thick of all of that, in the everyday, my everyday life looked like, the constant fighting, and I mean literal fighting, the choking, the shoving,
Mm-hmm.
the pushing, the, being broke, the money getting spent different ways. I mean, a mess. And so I said, all
Okay.
right, a separation is probably what's best. And by the time I, did my tour of war and come home, the thing that I'll never forget to this day. Now, mind you, I don't hate this man, obviously, but this is something that's stuck in my mind, and these are the things that have made me the person that I am. Consuela, I remember getting to the airport and everybody from the town of the base that I was stationed at was there with banners. And you know how people show up when you come home from war. And they were all there
Mm-hmm.
with the banners and the balloons and all of that. And my husband at the time was not there to pick me up.
Oh
Everything on the
my.
inside of me said, okay, this is going to be the moment that you decide what you want to do from here. Now, being immigrants from Jamaica, my mom cleaned people's houses, cleaned people's toilets so that we could get green card to live here legally. And I remember her saying to
Okay.
me, this is not what I clean people's houses for, so that you can come and settle for that type of relationship,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And fast forward, I said, you know what, this is it. I gotta go. But what I know for sure, and I know, for some of the listeners that might be listening, you can't make somebody make a decision for their own life until they're ready to do that. And it didn't matter how much my mom talked. It didn't matter how much my friends thought it was a bad idea to make that decision. So I remembered, gosh, girl, I called the movers. I had my son packed up. He was at daycare that day. And I'll never forget, it was 1991, Memorial Day weekend. And I called the movers and had them come and pack my stuff. And I was so broke that the check that I gave the movers bounced.
Oh, wow.
That's how broke I was. But I knew I had to do something. I couldn't stay. Yes. Yeah. So it was like, okay, I couldn't stay here because if I stay here, I know that I would die, both physically
Mhm.
and emotionally. So
Okay.
I rather take the chance, 50-50 chance of survival leaving, right? Again, the military stepped in and played a major role in what I do next because part of the start over process was I need a new assignment. I have to get away from this town, this city, this base,
Mhm.
this person. And I remember asking for an assignment, short, whatever, I want to go. And girl, that's how I ended
Mhm.
up in South Korea.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Alicia said, go by any means necessary. Absolutely.
Sure.
When it's time to go,
Yeah.
you pack up and you go by any means necessary. For real.
So
So,
you
yeah, my mom said, my son lived with my mom for that year, and I was in South Korea reinventing myself. Now, mind you, in the process of packing up to move and relocate my son and all that, girl, I am 22, almost 23 years old, and I was filing bankruptcy without an attorney, and I filed my own divorce, negotiated my own child support without an attorney. I remembered when I filed my bankruptcy. Oh, okay, so here, this one was at the bottom of my cup. This was at
okay.
the bottom of my cup because I didn't even think about this till just now. But girl, I am standing. Just picture this: 23 years old. I mean, 22 years old. I'm standing in the courthouse doing my bankruptcy hearing. Again, no attorney. And the refrigerator that I had bought from Sears department store sent a representative to collect the refrigerator.
The refrigerator. Sears was not playing. Wow.
Sears was not playing with me. Sears was not playing with me. But here's the thing. Again, I'm filing bankruptcy. Girl, I already sold the refrigerator to buy food.
Right.
So I was like, I'm telling dude, hey, bro, I don't have the fridge. I don't have the fridge.
It's gone. It's gone. Wow.
Fridge was gone.
You didn't just empty your cup, you
Yeah, fridge
threw
was
the
eaten.
entire cup away. You threw the whole cup out. You was like, take the whole cup, take all of it. So now you're
Yeah.
divorced, you didn't file bankruptcy,
Yes. Yeah.
you didn't left your baby with your mother. You are reinventing yourself while you're still working. So you literally started
Yeah.
over.
Yeah.
And now you are here as a relationship strategist,
Mm-hmm.
coaching others to starting over specifically
Yeah.
in love. So, y'all, let me tell y'all something. Y'all see this book right here? Take No Thought. Miss Karen is actually the author of 3
Yeah.
books, 2 of which I'm not ready for yet because I'm not married yet.
Oh
But this one
yeah.
here, Take No Thought. Baby, look. Now, y'all know I love to journal and I have journals, and me being a coach, the whole nine. It's something different when another coach gives you information and gives you journal writing tips with Bible scriptures.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, hold up, why are you all up in my head? So y'all know I can be an overthinker. Everybody know that, and I have been working. I don't know if y'all can see all that. We got to fix that. I'm gonna put it back on the screen. Take No Thought. Um, it's supposed to be, and I'm saying it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
This is
So
my
look
perception,
ahead.
right? It's supposed to be a journal
Yeah,
on
that's
for
interesting. I
overthinkers.
thought.
That's the one. It is not just for overthinkers, guys. It is for anyone who's just needing additional balance. So for all my coaches out there, you need to get this book because it also, like I said, it's for 52 weeks. It has writing prompts in them for every week, and it comes with a dedicated Bible scripture. So it's gonna walk you through it with the good book. I'm telling. So there's some things in here that I think this may be one of them books that I want to burn when I finish, but I'm gonna buy another one just to have it on the shelf. I'm just saying, and I say that because I am so serious, Karen. I was like, it was one of those questions, and I should have highlighted in here in regards to um, a goal you want to reach in the next 52 weeks. I think that's what it was, right? On week 2. And I started writing some stuff and I was scratching it out. And because in my journaling, I'm very adamant on not erasing anything, but I will scratch it out and cover it up or attempt to cover it up. And I just draw a line and write some more and draw a line and write some more. And I realized everything came back to I'm missing companionship in my life. Right. I am a single mom. My matter of fact, my baby boy will be 21 next month. Right. I am that woman that
So.
when my kid's father passed away, right, I put my entire dating life on hold to focus on my kids. Right. So my kids didn't see mommy date. So they learned how to date from social media, friends, and things of that nature. But now that my kids are older and I'm getting back into the dating scene at 49, I am starting over. Those in my era, in my generation, we have a fear of starting over because of what the dating pool looks like, right? And the BS per se
Yeah,
of
yeah.
this is where I am in life. I don't want to do with no one else's BS, or I don't want to deal with, no one else this, that, or this person's broken and that person's broken. And what can you tell us? Matter of fact, forget us. What can you tell me, in regards to getting back out there and dating and to get I want to get to the point to where I say, hold on, I got to check with my husband, right? To be able to have that companionship. What can you tell me and those in my generation about starting over? What that Alicia says, and me, right? It's quite a few of us on here. What can you tell us? But
And
right now, I
me.
need you to hold right. What can you tell me? What can you tell us?
um, and I'll talk to you as I'm because you're right here in my face. But to be
Mm-hmm.
honestly, you get back to the drawing board. You get to the. I'm all about as you know, as a journaler, as a planner. I like sitting down at my counter at my desk, get my paper out and pen, and plan my next step, my next move. As a matter of fact, when
Mm-hmm.
I left my first marriage, that's exactly what I did. I got the legal pad out and I look at pros and cons. What I tell daters or people that's getting into relationships first, before you even meet somebody, decide on the type of relationship that you want and settle for nothing less. You have to decide on that first because here's the thing. We have the tendency to wait until the person show up and then we try to twist them into a pretzel to make them what we want them to be. Right? But you and I have to first decide
Mm-hmm.
what we want because I think it's in James. Yeah, I think it's in James where he talks about getting tossed through and fro by every wind, like just get, it's almost like you're getting lost at sea. Every
Right.
wave that show up, you get tossed back and forth with it. And so when you and I already know what we expect, what we want, what a healthy relationship looks like. And I'm not talking about he needs to be tall, dark, handsome, got six figures, got a car and a house. And that's not what I'm talking about. The characteristics that you're looking for. Is this person kind? Is this person have a heart for God? Does it? What are their? If they're not a man of God, if they're not a Christian, a believer, a Christ follower, what are their moral compass? What does their moral compass look like? What is it that that drives them? So those things have to already align. And at the same time, what are your own personal goals that you have, and will they align with this other person? See, we get into a space where we see the person that we want. We are ecstatic. We they're sweeping us off our feet. Oxytocin is at a 10, or I'll say a 12. You know, and we allow the chemicals that's running through our bodies to decide how we settle into this relationship,
Okay.
when all we're really doing is making life-changing decisions high, because those you ignore the things that you're not okay with. You have no idea what your plans and your goals and the all of those things. And so, if nothing else, if you don't walk away with anything else from this broadcast, decide on the type of relationship that you want and do not settle for anything less than that.
Wow. Okay. So let me show y'all something. I need to put this up there. So, and I know you're not supposed to ever ask this question, but I'm going to ask because people are asking, right? You put it out there that you was 24 and
Oh
25
my
and now you've
gosh.
been married 31 years. Guys, this is 31 years of marriage and growing. So she is not just regurgitating from a book. She has put some time, some energy. She's some trials and errors and starting over. This is 31 years of marriage right here. And I love it. And I wanted to share it on this day of love because I know
You
he's
really
probably
went
always trying to
stalking
figure
my
out.
Facebook.
I did, I did, and I'm probably gonna do it some more because I'm trying to learn, right? I'm trying to get there, and I know he's probably telling you hurry up because he's trying to go love on you on this love day. I'm just saying. So we're not gonna take up a whole lot more of your time, but my question to you, right? Oh, before I do that, you actually have a group that you're working with right now. Tell us about this. What is this? Rebuilding Hearts and Awakening Love. What is this virtual? I love it first and foremost because it's virtual. So it's open to people no matter where they are. What is this?
Correct. Oh, okay. Yeah. This. All right. So in the process of doing the relationship coaching and all of that, reality is what it is. Not every relationship is going to work out. Not every marriage is going to succeed, as I have proven. Right. And so
Mm-hmm.
my business partner and I put our heads together and said we really need something to connect with people who have lost relationships, who have whether it's divorce or heartbreak or just find themselves in a loveless relationships, all of that. Of course, hey, we want to make sure that you're not taking those same bad habits into the next relationship, because some of my
Mm-hmm.
clients of course are also that one person that think, hey, I keep going from one bad relationship to the next, I keep doing the same thing, I keep making the same mistakes. So this workshop is really designed for anyone that has gone through the storms of divorce, they've been through heartbreak, again, found themselves in loveless relationship. And loveless relationship is a deep topic that we would have to talk about another day. But
Right.
this workshop, it is virtual, and we started on I think it was January 16th, and it runs through March 21st, and we're talking this week our topic and trust and believe. We've had the tears, and we, again, it's an intimate space. So, of course, everybody is, you're free to share, and we want to make sure that you are, comfortable sharing, and we're all learning from each other. But there's a lot of tears. There's a lot of tears going on in there. There's a lot of sharing, and we're in there getting delivered as we go along.
Oh, I like that, being delivered, being transformed, being healed, right? Because I know right now, just looking at some of the guests that's on here, we have some
Mm-hmm.
widows that are currently listening, and that's probably going to listen to the replay. We have some
Mm-hmm.
that are in a situationship, some that don't know what they're in, some that are getting out of a relationship, some that are
Mm-hmm.
just starting a relationship, some that are trying to start over, right? And I can put out there, I'm starting over, and I am. And
Yeah.
that was one of the things I put down there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm ready for my husband. I'm ready for my forever plus one. Um, and what you do,
Mm-hmm.
I know you
Mm-hmm.
help women start over. You help women, you know, in relationships, because you're talk like you said, you get to the nitty gritty and all of that. Do you work or have groups for women like myself that were, like I said, widowed or starting over or getting back into the dating scene? Do you have groups like that going on or coming up?
Coming up, because we're gosh, I have so many ideas in my head. Trust and believe, to just focus on developing the skills and the tools that you need to enter into relationship feeling whole, not being defined by that old relationship, not being defined by the mistakes. Because yes, your marriage might have failed or your relationship might have failed, but you are not a failure. So just kind of getting folks into that place where, for one, you get an understanding of what your identity is, what you are contributing to that relationship. So no, we haven't formed a group yet, but I am actually working on doing that, getting some, the curriculum that I want, or the program that I want to actually use for that. So that's something that is coming as well. Lord, I need about 10 of me.
Well, definitely let me know, because I'm signing up for that. I will be in that course, in that class, because like I said, I'm trying to change my last name. Well, I don't want to change it. I want someone else to change my last name. So from my mouth to God's ears, Jesus, I'm ready for my companion.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
My forever plus one. I know one of my brothers is
Amen.
on here right now, and he made it known that they got to get through my brothers first. So I'm just saying, I'm putting it out there on this
Oh,
love
you
day.
got to get through your brothers first.
Right. So that's what we're doing.
And
But
that's okay. That's okay. Listen. The men in your life, or the men that we have in relationship with, they need to know that they're protectors in our life. They need to know that. They don't need to think that you're just out here on your own. So yeah,
right.
definitely, I'm all for that.
Okay. So I have to bring you back. It's something about Love Day, but I definitely want to bring you back later on in the season, because it seems like love and relationships get heavier later when the weather changes again, right? So we definitely want to bring that up, but I want to make sure that I am in
Mm-hmm.
your course when you are ready for it. Before I let you go, well, I got two questions for you. If they take nothing else away from our conversation today, what is the one thing, absolutely for sure, that you want them to take away from you today?
There's always so many, and I get that question all the time. But be secure. Be secure in who you are. Be secure in who you are first. As we mentioned before, decide on the type of relationship you want and settle for nothing less. But you and I can only do that if we know for certain who we are. So knowing what your identity is, knowing what you're after, knowing what your goals are, knowing what your desires are, and not have that be dictated by somebody else, right? I did an interview last weekend, and one of the pivotal questions they asked me, as a person of faith, how do you guide clients who do not have the same background as you, who doesn't believe in the
Mhm.
same faith as you? How do you do that? And it was such a
Mhm.
pivotal question because here's the thing: when you come in to see me, the first thing I'm going to ask you is what your values are. What are your values? What is your moral compass? Because, Consuela, what I'm not going to do is hold you accountable to my values. I'm holding you accountable to what you said your values are. So if you say your values are honesty and integrity and all of those things, guess what? I need to be able to see that as your coach, you being the client, that you are now planning your life, conducting your life based on those principles and ideals that you said are your values. So you and I got to be clear about
Ooh,
that before we're trying to get into a relationship with somebody else.
all right, guys. Y'all heard it. Be very, very specific and be intentional about
Yeah.
your core and your values and what it is that you desire out of your relationship. Well, Karen, you have touched on a
Mm-hmm.
lot of different things. You have touched on, replacing your cup completely from um, a first marriage to now your beautiful 31-year marriage and counting. Yes, I'm going back to stalk your page. I want to know, what does it feel like, or what is your perception of living life now beautifully flawed? Because if we're looking at society is saying that you're flawed, right? Because you had to file for bankruptcy, because you've been divorced and all these other things, but no one has walked in your shoes, and everybody's journey is different. What does that look like to you, being beautifully flawed?
Okay, I had some audio issues. Please repeat that question for me because it I want to really end of it.
No worries. I was asking because, if we're in this thing called cancel culture, right? And if your life isn't A1
Mm-hmm.
perfect, everyone thinks that you're flawed. So what does it mean
Mm.
to you to be beautifully flawed, right? Because you've been through divorce, you've
Mm-hmm.
bounced back and started over, you've been through bankruptcy and started over. You are a military veteran. Again, you're starting over in a brand new career because you're no longer in the military, not in that capacity, I should say. You started over with a different type of
Right.
career and a business owner. So you are someone I can look at and say that you are truly beautifully flawed because you didn't stay down, you bounced back. What does being beautifully flawed mean to you?
Right. Yeah, it's listen. Social media is not real, people. Um I used to be I used to be one of those people that was so scared to be vulnerable. I was scared of judgment. I was scared of, just being seen, not being seen for really who I am, but just being seen or identified by my mistakes. So I didn't like all of that. So I kind of shied away from being vulnerable. But everything that I've experienced, everything that I've gone through is what has made me who I am today. Can I can come back and tell you how to navigate, a divorce, or navigate a hard time, or navigate domestic violence, or handling being a single mom, or being a single mom in the military. I can, and the only reason that I can do those things is because I've actually done those things. See, I am a
Right.
certified coach, and it looks great on paper with all these little alphabets behind my name. However, that's not what people care about. People want to know that you understand what I'm saying. You get me. You can actually tell me that no, this is not going to work. This can work because of my own experience. In Revelation, it talks about how we overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony. Our testimonies is literally what we have gone through, what God has done in our life, what God has done to pick us up, brush us off, rebuild, and put us on a new path to a different place. We can't shy away from that. So yes,
Mm.
I am beautifully flawed, because if I was perfect, there would be no need for God. And I can't even imagine what that would look like.
Ooh, ooh, and I don't want to imagine that. I do not want that. Nope, I don't want to imagine that. I'm good. Well, on that note,
Mm-mm,
guys, you heard it
mm-mm.
here. And she didn't started something. She didn't unpack some stuff. But if you want to hear more of what Mrs. Karen Williams, your coach for life, has to say and what she's able to do, make sure you go check her out on her website on the screen, coachforlifellc.com. Make sure you subscribe so you're able to get in on these upcoming classes that she has. If you are on Facebook, I know there's a private group she has over there, but I'm going to need you to go to her website to get that link to do so. Until next
Yes.
time, Karen, I want to say thank you very, very much for joining me. Thank each and every one of you for tuning in. And until next time, have
Yes.
an amazing day.